Last night, September 25th, the PTS for PUBG on Xbox One and PS4 was updated. Update 4.3, which just went to the live servers on the PC, is now on the test servers for console, but there's an added benefit for us console players, and that is crossplay. But in addition to crossplay, you'll be able to test out the new progression system based on survival called Survival Mastery, the new shotgun called the DBS, and a whole bunch of quality of life and bug fixes. The test servers will be live until this patch hits the live servers on October 1st, 4 a.m. Pacific time. So let's dive into the patch notes, see exactly what's included with this patch, and see what we have to look forward to on the live servers early next week. Without question, the biggest addition with this patch is cross-platform play between Xbox One and PS4. This doesn't include PC, this obviously doesn't include PUBG Mobile, it's just Xbox One and PS4 finally getting cross-play, which is only going to benefit the game. It's important to note that the cross-party feature, which allows players to party up with different players from different platforms, is currently not supported. So you can't invite PlayStation users if you're on Xbox One and vice versa. This feature is being developed and details will be shared at a future date. But one really good thing that crossplay is going to add is it's going to massively increase the player base. Especially if you're on PlayStation, you're going to get all the Xbox players in your lobbies, which is going to increase the player base a ton. For everyone that has been waiting for first-person perspective lobbies to add more players, this is your chance. Cross-platform play is an option. You can turn this on and off in the settings. So if for some reason you don't want to play nice, you don't want to play with the other console, then you can turn this off. If you're a PlayStation player just starting out and you don't want Xbox players in your lobby, this is certainly an option, but I recommend you keep it on because the more players in your lobby, the quicker matches that you get, because no one likes just sitting in a lobby, so hopefully this will help. If a match cannot be found after a certain time with cross-platform play option off, players will be prompted if they want to switch cross-platform play on. And you'll be able to identify the platform of other users in the loot box when spectating or on user status messages like the kill feed. So you'll be able to see a little PlayStation logo or an Xbox controller next to someone's name, but I can definitely see this being used as an extra layer of strategy. Do you see some Xbox players up the hill that just got a kill, or some PlayStation players? Maybe that will factor into your decision making. If you have the cross-platform play option on, your leaderboards will also show different consoles. You'll see the PlayStation and Xbox users, but if you have it off, you'll only see your console. And that's pretty much it for the cross-platform play. Like I said, you can't actually play with the other console at the moment. You'll just be in the same lobby as these players. All I know is I'm equipping my Xbox parachute, and I'm going to fly in, hopefully see some PlayStation players, and we can have the real console war. Survival Title System Season 4 finally arrives to console, and it adds new rewards. The Season 4 preseason started with Aftermath, but the actual season doesn't start until this patch goes live on October 1st. The survival points earned from the preseason are transferred over, so if you have 3000 SP at this point, that will be your starting point when Season 4 actually starts. Players who earn more than 1970 SP will receive an extra 1000 SP, and players below 1970 will remain unchanged. So I'm at about 3000 I believe on both duos and squads, so I guess I'm going to jump up to 4000 or so once this goes live. And news came out on this last week, but unfortunately I was sick, so I didn't get to make a video on it, but some other channels like Blitz5 covered this in great detail, so if you want to check that out in full detail, definitely check out his video. I'll try to have that linked in the description, but there's a new feature called the Survival Mastery System. So we have the Weapon Mastery System currently in the game, where you're rewarded with little charms on your weapons for everything that you do in the game with that weapon. Whether you just get damage, kills, double kills, headshots, you get more, obviously, the more that you do. Well, the Survival Mastery is a similar thing, but it's just for playing the game. It will introduce new ways for players to express their personalities on the battlegrounds with new rewards and PUBG ID. And this system will operate all the time without being affected by seasons, similar to the Weapon Mastery system. The level cap for Survival Mastery is 500. Players can earn XP in the following situations: looting, using items during combat, actual combat, or reviving a teammate. There's a new timeline system that shows a recap of all the survival actions performed in a match. So pretty much what this is going to do is show us just a brief synopsis of what happened in the match, everything that basically happened, where you landed, the location where you actually performed certain actions, damage dealt and received, distance traveled using vehicles, and surviving blue zone phases. While I'm not sure I really care too much about the rewards for this survival system, I'm always interested to see more stats, how I play, a recap. I have most of my games recorded, so if I really want to check it out, I can. But seeing, what damage I did to a player in a certain time, I might want to know if I hit that guy with the Kar 98, and if I, hit him in the head, maybe he had a level 3 helmet, how much damage did I do? Well, with this system, it looks like you're going to be able to see all that, so I think it's pretty cool. And playing will help determine your survival style. It tracks your recent playstyle by analyzing data of all the players playing PUBG. It includes the following information: average engagement length, average engagement distance, items looted per game, distance traveled per game, hot drop rate, and damage taken per game. That's the one I want to see because I feel like sometimes I'm a bullet sponge out there. I'm always getting shot while my teammates are shooting at the other players, so I definitely want to see how much damage I take per game. And all this will boil down into PUBG ID. It's a new reward system that players can show their progression and express themselves. It includes your survival mastery level, player ID, emblem, background, and pose. You can actually view other players' PUBG IDs, either your teammates from the previous match or players that you killed or the player who killed you. Every 10 levels, players can redeem an emblem, and every 10 levels you actually receive a background as well. For every 100 levels, players are rewarded poses, and this is all just part of your PUBG ID. It has nothing to do with the actual game. It's not going to, make you a better player or anything like that. It's just something to see, something to track your progression. And in between those levels that don't actually reward you with anything, you will be granted BP. There's also a new weapon with this patch called the DBS. It's a double-barrel pump-action bullpup shotgun that can only initially be obtained from care packages. It has 2 internal magazine tubes that allow the user to load up 14 12-gauge rounds. The DBS can produce massive bursts of damage in a short time span. The upper rail of the gun allows a hollow, a red dot, a 2, 3, 4, or 6 times scope, and the maximum effective range to deal damage of the DBS is 100 meters. Though there's some question around that because I saw a Wacky Jacky video where he was shooting somebody from 100 meters away and he was barely doing any damage at all. You're going to want to use this up close, but good news is, up close, this thing shreds. In my opinion, it's kind of strange to see a shotgun in a care package. I wouldn't know what to do with that if I'm going for a care package and I see a shotgun, but we'll just have to use it and see how it is. The current season of both the Survivor Pass and Survival Title system will end on October 22nd. So Season 4 of the Survival Title system actually goes live on October 1st and it ends October 22nd. Good thing we had a huge preseason. And it looks like they're buffing the shotguns quite a bit with this patch. I think the theme of this patch is that they want shotguns to be more relevant. Does that mean I'm going to use them more? Probably not. I'm more of a spray and pray type of person. I need more bullets than what a shotgun can give me. Maybe I just need that DBS. They improved the shotgun consistency. They adjusted the shotgun balance. They lowered the effective range to 80 meters, I think before it was at 100, but they increased the reload speed by 20%, and that applies to the S686 and the S1897. They changed some of the effects when you're actually getting shot. The bullet holes look different now depending on what direction you were shot from, so it gives you a better idea of where those shots are coming from. Just another tool at your disposal. And here's a big one for me, quality of life improvement for healing items while walking. Healing items can now be activated while moving, and your player will be reduced to walking speed and continue using the items while you move at a walking pace. Before we had to come to a complete stop and then start healing, and then you could move and you could walk around. But now you'll start healing at a full sprint even. It'll just reduce you to a walking speed. It just saves you that 1 or 2 seconds messing with your healing items, messing with your inventory. It's just something that is a nice adjustment to the game, and I appreciate that. And the canted sight reticle type can now be adjusted just like the red dot. The featured map has finally been changed from Erangel to Sanhok, and so now standard will have Erangel, Miramar, and Vikendi. I kind of wish they would, do a rotation, but I'm just falling on deaf ears, I'm sure. But I'd love to see just every so often, every week or so, they switch the featured map to a different one. That way they kind of mix it up. But hey, maybe this is what the community wants. I know a lot of people only like to play Sanhok, so they'll be happy. Some custom match changes for Xbox only because for some reason PlayStation still doesn't have custom matches. They now have Erangel, which is the updated version, and Erangel Classic if you want to play the old version. And all game modes available will be playable on both Erangel variants. And a huge change here I think a lot of people were annoyed with. The auto drive on the vehicles has been changed. Before, you had to double tap the right trigger and then it would start driving for you, and that caused a lot of problems, especially if you're trying to take things slow, not go full speed all the time. If you try pulsing the trigger just to go a little bit faster, you ended up just blasting it because it would auto drive for you, so you had to hit the brakes and it just was a big mess. But now what you'll have to do to auto drive, to initiate auto drive, you hold down the right trigger and then you click in the right thumbstick. So thank you for updating this, we do appreciate that. The main lobby screen has changed to look more like the PC. There's new items in the shop, including some Halloween items. But let's get into some sound changes, some performance changes, and some bug fixes. Footstep sounds have been rebalanced, and I'm seeing some negative feedback on PC for this at the moment on the live servers. Footsteps will be more drastically reduced when players move to the outer limit of the footstep audible range. Sound has been changed appropriately when getting into shallow water like puddles. There's a new song on the jukebox, if you ever find one and if you care. Different sound effects are played when landing from falling, depending on the surface or material type. They reduced the volume of the hay bales being destroyed, which sound like a grenade going off, made improvements to the ledge grab sound effects, and they reduced the volume of the red zone. We'll just have to see how much, because that is something that everybody wants. You know what, I've never heard somebody say, you know what, the red zone, it could be louder. Some performance changes. They made visual improvements to shadows and enhanced rendering performance. They fixed an issue where the monitor would flicker or become blurry in certain situations. And they deployed a tentative change on the test server, mitigating an issue which causes loot to appear late, mainly after landing from your parachutes. So you land and there's no loot to be seen, you turn around 5 seconds later and there's guns all over the place. Apparently this is going to increase the server load, but they're testing it out on the test server. We'll have to see if it sticks for the live servers. There are 20 bug fixes in total, so I'm not going to go over every single one, but I'm going to call out a couple that I think are pretty important. They fixed an issue where character footsteps cannot be heard when walking backwards against corners of objects. They fixed an issue where the player is sent back to the lobby after lost connection to host message would appear when loading into a game. So, did they really get rid of lost connection to host? We'll just have to wait and see. They fixed an issue when the healing items will be cancelled when pressing sprint without moving. They fixed an issue where items within player crates are not correctly organized. I've noticed this myself. And last but not least, they fixed an issue where grenade damage in rare situations could be received through objects. So all in all, this is a positive patch. I like it. I think it's a good idea. I don't mind this survival mastery system. I think it's going to be fun to see all the stats and see the synopsis of the game that we just played. But like anything else, I just hope that everything works properly. We'll have to see how the sounds go on console. I heard a lot of complaints from PC players so far. But really the main thing with this patch for us console players is crossplay. Having that extra player base on Xbox One and PS4 is going to help out immensely for the game, for both the future of the game and the present day. So hopefully you guys can get out there, try out the PTS, see how everything runs, and try out all these new features. Let me know what you're most excited about with this patch in the comments below. I'm definitely interested to hear what you guys say. Make sure to like the video if you found it useful and subscribe to stay up to date on everything that I publish. Also follow me on Twitter at YTBoris15. But with all that being said, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Until next time, I'll see you later.
God. Listen.
Oh! There's 4 of them!